How do you know when to pivot and when to stay the course? When to pivot or when to quit? When to pivot or when to dive deeper and see what you could possibly rediscover about your business, what you can possibly implement into your business to move forward. Because this is a very important question. And when people are approaching pivot, there are normally two types of results that we see in entrepreneurial arena. We see either people successfully pivoted, like, and they seek tremendous success. And we also see when people keep pivoting and pivoting and pivoting and pivoting and pivoting, and they end up in the same place. So today, I really want to have very important heart to heart conversation because listen, we are in Q4. The year is coming to an end, and we really have to have an honest conversation with ourselves, right? Whether we should pivot or whether we should double down. Now, what is what is the differentiator between a successful pivot and pivot that fails? How do you know if that pivot is successful? And we're gonna dive into like different types of pivots that people can do, right? And we're gonna, I mean, more importantly, we're gonna dive into um, the steps before the pivot. Like, how do you make sure? Because, like, listen, we don't have a guarantee. Like in entrepreneurship, we don't have a guarantee. In entrepreneurship, we don't have a guarantee. Like we take risk, calculated risk, and we test and we see how it produces. Now, uh, Zihad said, thankful. Thank you so much for being here. Like now, let me know where you're watching me from. Also, if you're watching on replay, let me know where you're watching me on replay because I really want to have this conversation to be heart to heart, and also like I go back and I do watch and read and answer all of the comments, like for my videos, for my posts, for my especially for my live streams because a lot of things resonated with people. And if you are watching it on replay, let's say you, for any reason you missed it, you still can participate. And if you are like if you're listening to it as a podcast, because like this is such an important conversation that I wanted to make it a podcast also for my podcast listeners, so like they can have access to this conversation as well. Send me an DM, let me know what resonates with you. Now, what is the differentiator between pivot that is successful? Because we hear all the time from other business owners, like, oh, like I pivoted and then I broke. It was a breakthrough for my next million. I pivoted and then I saw this happen. I pivoted in my strategy and then I see certain things happen. So, like, what is the differentiator? Like someone can say like, well, like the differentiator is like a monetary value, right? Like you can see the monetary value. Like when if a pivot is truly successful, then you can see the money flow, right? Other people can say, well, I see that my offer is more aligned. For some people, successful pivot is like really the sense of alignment. Mary Kay, hello, my friend. What is successful pivot for you? I know Mary Kay and I, we chatted a little bit like before in private, and like I don't know like if you are in the position of pivot right now, like probably not if I had to guess, but uh, in life and in entrepreneurship, we always pivoting, we always testing, we always changing. So, what like how would you define a successful pivot? Like, and also like, yo, let me know in the comments how would you define successful pivot. So, uh, hello, my friends. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. So, like, I see all friends like commenting, participating. Like, so grateful for everybody to for being here. Now, um, here's my definition of successful pivot. A successful pivot is when you have data informed decision whether or not to continue the course of your business that you have chosen. This is a successful pivot. And with that definition, I will repeat again. A successful pivot when you have data informed decision. What a successful pivot is when you have data informed decision whether or not to go this course in business or not. And it's not millions of dollars, and it's not revenue, and it's not followers, and it's not anything else, but rather you pivot it and you have data informed decision. Either keep going the course, quit, or make changes, make slight changes and pivot again. That is successful pivot. So Mary Kay say, yes, pivot for me after leaving corporate last month. Yes. Like, and Mary Kay, this is a big change. This is a like this. Like, I think transitioning to entrepreneurship from corporate is the whole another different live stream, right? And I like if it is an interest, please let me know. I will do this live stream because for me, it was a stormy, rocky road. It was not like this dreamy, like, oh my gosh, I built my business and then I matched my revenue and then I started my business and then like everything and happily ever after. That was not my story of exiting corporate road, right? Like it was a tough rodeo. So Kelly, a little tardy. Good evening. Hello, Kelly. It's like how are you doing, my friend? It's been a while since we caught out. Listen, we need to catch up. So like, totally understand. Totally understand. Like, thank you for being here. Yeah, exactly. Data. Mary said exactly data and clarity. Now, how do you know when to pivot? How do you know when to pivot? Because we have an epidemic in entrepreneurial circle among business owners business owners like constantly pivoting. They constantly pivoting strategies, audiences, offers, and it is a part of like this is the job that comes with the territory, right? But when we can pivot, I recently listened to a podcast episode and of a very successful, affluent entrepreneur who built not only online business, right, as an online mentor and coach, she also built a tech company, right? Incredible entrepreneur. Like if anybody knows about pivot, it would be her. Um, Jasmine Star. I hope I remember her name correctly. Listen, I have issues with names. Sometimes I listen to podcasts and I like podcasts and I don't remember the name of the host. And this is what she said. You have to earn your pivot. And that resonated with me so much. And this is something that I like. This is the conversation that I had with my clients. You have to earn your pivot. Drop it in the comments. You have to earn your pivot. Here's what I mean by that. Listen, pivot is not only financial, movement, right? Like financial move, business move. Pivot is a spiritual move and a psychological move, and it is a strategic move, right? So before you pivot, in order to make a pivot more successful, number one, you have to, before you make a pivot, you have not, number one, you have to exhaust all of your options on the current course that you have. All of the options. You might be wondering, how long can I stay the course? I've been staying the course for 2025. It is Q4. If nothing changes, I will go out of business. What else do I need to do? I need you to stay 90 days committed to the course and take absolutely 100% maximum action. Because listen closely, 95% of the time it will feel like it is impossible and nothing is moving, nothing is changing, nothing is going to the right direction. 95% of the effort will feel like that. Or it will be our perception. 5% of the effort is when you gain momentum. And if you quit at 92%, at 93%, at 94.5%, and you start pivoting, you will astray, you will go away from your momentum point. This is why I say for 90 days, apply maximum effort. The strategy that you already know, the course that you know, like whatever it is, like, and analyze the data when it's not working exactly. Whatever it is, for 90 days, dive deeper. Go, and not just dive deeper, not just like don't fall, because like for 90 days, if you set, like if you already in your, this is a mindset thing. If in your heart you're already set on the pivot, like, you know what, I will pivot, but Eugene said, my business coach said, my strategist said, my therapist said that I should commit for 90 days. Fine, I will show up for 90 days. Like, I will half-ass it for 90 days. And then I will prove to myself, confirmation bias, by the way, that it's not working. And I'm going to pivot. No, for 90 days, you have to apply maximum effort. Like, this is your last chance to run business. Last chance to be in business, because it is last chance. It is your last chance to bring that strategy, that offer, that audience, that product, that business back to life or alignment or whatever it is. And it works in any direction. Let's say you might feel like my offer is not aligned with me. Like, I outgrew my offer, but at some point you loved your offer. At some point it was in alignment. Like for 90 days, find the angles of your offer that is in alignment. And maybe for 90 days, maybe you like go deeper within and see if it is still not in alignment without confirmation bias. Because confirmation bias is like, it is a thing. Your brain will find what you're looking for. So instead of looking for negative things that you have to pivot, look for positive signs why you should not pivot. And when you apply 100% maximum effort for 90 days and nothing worked, you earn your right to pivot. Now, let me look at the comments. Hello, America. Hi. Yes, absolutely. You have to earn your pivot. Thank you, Mary Kay. Now, um, there are different types of pivots, right? Like there's pivot when you calling quits, right? You quit something, you stop doing something, and you start doing something else. It's one pivot. It's like 90 days effort, maximum effort, full speed, like for 90 days. Another pivot is when like listen, and it is okay to have more than one offer. It is okay to have more than one business. And it is okay to have portfolio, by the way. And if you want to have portfolio, if it is a successful business, then in order to earn your pivot, you have to work yourself out of that business, of that offer. The offer has to stand on itself. And meaning hiring the right team, documenting your processes, documenting your marketing, documenting your customer delivery. Like everything has to be documented. Everything has to be documented so much so that I come to your business. Let's say, like, Eugene, you know what? Like, I'm pivoting to another offer, but I have this offer that is really successful, but it's not in alignment with me. I want to grow. And a lot of businesses, a lot of business owners, they will kill successful offer as it is alive, and they would pivot into something else, and then it's not working, and then they try to revive the other offer, and they confuse the audience, and all over again. No, like you start building portfolio, so you invite somebody else, you hand it over, you work yourself out as a CEO, you work yourself out of that offer, you work yourself out of that offer, and standing on its own. Everything is documented. That offer doesn't require you anymore. Pivot. You earn your right to pivot. You earn the right to pivot. Now, I want to pause here and ask you, what questions do you have about maximum effort, about 90-day test? Like just so we all on the same page. And it's 90-day test, it is maximum effort, it is before you pivot. And if you have multiple offers, if you are expanding your business, and if you are pivoting from successful offer, which is very common, you have to work yourself out of that offer, and so you can hand it over. You can invite, I don't know, me, Mary Kay, America, and say like, listen, here's the offer, and stands on its own. I'm not needed for marketing. I'm not needed for messaging. I'm not needed for anything. Everything is documented. All you need to do just like read the book, read the SOPs, and run with it. And that offer will stand on its own. And by the way, this is how successful entrepreneurs build a portfolio of successful businesses. Like it's pivot after pivot after pivot after pivot of successful offers, right? And those offers, they just stand on its own. Now, and when you pivoting, right? Well, when you decide to pivot, and by the way, from the spiritual perspective, that pivot, that maximum effort will signify energetically, spiritually, to the creator that now you surrender. Now you took intuitive action, you took maximum effort, and now it's up to the line of the creators. And now it's up to the creator to actually make it work or not. Whatever it is perfect. Now, when you are pivoting to another offer, it starts with a research, because every pivot is a research, and it starts with a sample test. And a sample test, it may pass, it may fail. Again, successful pivot, like what I said at the beginning, successful pivot, it is the data informed decision that you make about your business and about your financials, right? So you start testing, you start sampling testing. You start running live streams, you start running webinars, you start posting about it, you start talking, you start connecting with the people who you think, and it's your educated guess and assumption, who would be interested in the offer. And if they're not, it's fine. It's just your assumption. Again, everything is data, and you collect the data and then you pivot, and then you act accordingly. And then you do incremental tests until you see a signal, until you see the validation. And the validation can be somebody bought, somebody said yes, somebody came to the offer. And this is your data, is when you start mining the data out of that client, out of that purchase, out of that buying cycle. And not just the client, right? Not just when they purchase, right? And what I normally do with all of my clients, by the way, when we let's say we had a conversation, we had a consultation, or we talked in a DM, they paid, they initiated transaction. Before we, like, if it is a long-term commitment coaching program, either 3 months or a year, uh, we on onboarding session before services provided, I ask why did they sign. This is market research, by the way. Like, and you just take their words and you put into your copy captions, descriptions, articles, YouTube videos. Like, you just literally you just copy their words and say their exact same words, right? That's how you do it. And then um, after services were rendered, right? Like, you have a graduation call. You ask them what was the experience. And on the graduation call, you ask what is the next problem that they would like to solve. And you make them an offer to continue to solve that problem with them. And it's a little bit different topic for a little bit different live stream. Like, it's about different pricing models and business models, by the way. It's not necessarily pivoting, but like, this is the data. And uh, after that, you analyze the entire buying cycle. When did they buy? What was the customer experience? Did they decide to continue to work with you or not? And if they decided not to continue to work with you after buying cycle is completed, that's perfectly fine. Like, you render services, you deliver services, is cool. And then you double down on it. And then you offer what you know, like what based on data, what you know, and you receive more and more data. You receive more and more data. Listen, if now I'm gonna pause like right here, and let me drop your questions in the chat. Let me know if it resonates. And by the way, if you're watching on the replay, let me know. Also, like, post your questions. I will answer questions either in a chat, in the comment section, or yes, I will send you an DM with the answer for your question. So, like, it is a very important topic, by the way. It is a very important topic because a lot of entrepreneurs, they're constantly pivoting and pivoting and pivoting and pivoting and pivoting. And it is a part of the process. And I just want to make it easier for you. And now we are in Q4. And I want you to sit down with yourself right now and like really meditate. Are you happy where you at right now? In Q4, at the end of the year, are you happy where you at right now? In December, maybe in November, maybe in October. Like, if you're like me, you probably do it in October. You had your projections. Last year, Q4 last year, you had your projection for 2025. In 2024, you have projections for 2025. This is Q4 at the end of 2025. How are you doing? Like, be really honest with yourself. How are you doing? And if you do really well, ask yourself, where can you go higher? Where you can go better? Because when you have momentum, it's easier to increase the momentum than regain momentum again. And if you're not where you want to be, if you want to be further along in your journey, if I want you to be super compassionate to yourself, put your hand on your heart and just show yourself compassion, because entrepreneurial journey is hard, and I wish it would get easier. It doesn't get easier. They're different at different level. There are different challenges. Um, there's a saying, "New level, new devil," and I like the Kabbalistic saying, "New level, new Satan." And Satan in Kabbalah and in Jewish tradition, it is the opponent. It is the spirit. It is the angel who will oppose you and test you. And then show yourself compassion and ask yourself, is it the time for you to pivot for your next level? If you want 2026 to be different than 2025, now it is the time to start planning, to start recalibrating, and thinking about your next pivot. And if you need recalibration in your business, I do have 90-minute session, recalibration session with you as one-on-one. It's really good for quick decisions. It's really good for coming out with actions. And after that, I will support you for 30 days through our either DMs or emails to make sure that you implement that plan right. And if you need additional support after that, we can discuss how it will look like for your business. But if you're not where you want to be in Q4 in 2025, it is the time to start acting now. Because if you don't do anything in Q4 in 2025, 2026 is going to be exactly like 2025. And 2025, I don't know about you, but 2025 has been challenging year. And there are a lot of questions that I have to answer to myself too. And I'm putting my hand on my heart and showing me compassion, because like, there are certain things and there are certain moves that I couldn't anticipate in 2025. And if it is you too, like I just so you know, like I show you a lot of compassion and a lot of love. But if you want 2026 to look different than 2025, it is the time for you to actually start moving needle, start making decisions, and start implementing that plan for the move, for the next pivot for 2026. I hope it helps. Now, let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what resonated with you. We kind of like we talked about really important topic, and we discovered like a lot of things. And I know pivoting can be very emotional. Pivoting can be a really emotional topic for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in trust recession, especially now. We all go through different challenges. So let me know what resonated with you. Was it helpful? Was it a support for you that you needed in this season? Right? Like, are you thinking about pivoting? Are you thinking about, and pivoting in doesn't mean that you're changing your offer, your audience, like everything. Maybe you're pivoting through one strategy to another. Maybe you're pivoting from posting to doing live streams. Maybe you're pivoting from LinkedIn to YouTube and podcasting. Maybe you're pivoting from Instagram to LinkedIn, whatever it is. Like, because we're constantly pivoting. We do micro pivots all the time, like the whole year. So let me know if it was helpful. because I want you to meet you at exactly where you at in your journey. And what I want you to walk away from this live stream for from this episode is that number one, maximum effort for 90 days. Start pivoting. Pivot should be unemotional. Pivot should be well centered. And the successful pivot, like just if you remember nothing from this live stream, the successful pivot is when you have informed decision whether or not you should move with that direction or not. That's it. Because you want to fail fast or you want to succeed fast. But you want to make sure that you have clear data that will help you, that will inform you whether or not you should keep going the course or if you should do something else. That for me personally, that is the definition of successful pivot. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's time for me to wrap up. It's 6 o'clock my time, and I'm about to go and relax and think about where I want to pivot because I have something brewing, not necessarily a pivot, but I have an announcement brewing. I'm not ready to reveal it yet, and like I actually don't know how it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna put my hand on my heart and show me compassion, and possibly think about like what strategies or like how this change is going to look like for all of y'all and in my business. I hope it helps everybody. Like thank you so much for showing me so much love, so much engagement, so much compassion. Like your participation like never goes unnoticed. um Thank you so much, and everybody who is watching on the replay, I love you. Thank you so much for watching the replay, and I hope you also will take great takeaways. Thank you so much, Mary Kay. 90 day go face advice is helpful. Thank you so much. All right. And I will see you in my next episode, in my next video. Bye, y'all.